Welcome to today's Information Today Inc. webinar, brought to you by Bywater Solutions and Aspen Discovery. I'm Mary D. Ojala, Editor-in-Chief of Online Searcher Magazine and Conference Program Director. I will be the moderator for today's broadcast. Our presentation today is titled, Hold the Phone, Expanding Patron Access with the Aspen Discovery App. I want to explain how you can be a part of this broadcast. There will be a question and answer session, so if you have a question during the presentation, just type it into the question box provided and click on the submit button. We will try to get to as many questions as possible, but if your question has not been selected during the show, you will receive an email response to it within a few days. And if you would like a copy of the presentation, you can download a PDF from the handout box once the webinar is archived. Plus, all viewers will be entered to win a $100 Amazon gift card just for viewing today's webinar. And now, to introduce our speakers for today, Mark Noble, Aspen Discovery Team Lead, Jessica Zaro, Director of Library Sales and Outreach, Bywater Solutions, Colleen Marquise, Partner Engagement Specialist, Bywater Solutions, Bill Kessler, Aspen Discovery Sales Consultant, Bywater Solutions. And now, let me pass the event over to Jessica Zaro, Director of Library Sales and Outreach, Bywater Solutions.
Thank you so much, and thanks for joining us today for Hold the Phone, Expanding Patron Access with the Aspen Discovery App. Aspen is a full-featured discovery system that integrates with e-content and other third-party providers, providing your patrons with comprehensive access to all your library materials in one place. Aspen combines your traditional library catalog with e-content, digital archives, enrichment from all those major vendors that you subscribe to. It provides your patrons with ease of use, allowing them to easily come in, search for a topic, and find those relevant results, giving them reading recommendations and displaying all formats of titles in one result. Aspen was created as a way to give users an improved experience over other discovery systems. So let's talk about some of those goals with Aspen Discovery. The main goal with Aspen Discovery is to maximize patron usage of all library materials. Libraries have a wealth of information accessible to their patrons, but a lot of this information is often very difficult to find. Aspen Discovery allows you to easily incorporate all of that information into one spot. So bringing in major vendors like Overdrive and Cloud Library, Hoopla, and Access 360 into your online catalog. You can display archives, special collections, and more. Goal 2, complete integration with underlying ILS and e-content providers. You subscribe to so much material, and oftentimes we send our patrons in multiple locations to find what they're looking for. Aspen integrates with the APIs from all major ILSs and e-content providers, so patrons can easily check out or place holds on titles from right within the catalog. Goal 3, make it easy for patrons to use. Over the years, we've done a number of in-person usability studies, sitting down with patrons one-on-one to see how they use the system, what they find confusing and they wish they had. Those usability studies have driven a number of the changes within Aspen Discovery itself, giving them a fully responsive interface that makes them easy to use on any device, including their mobile phones. Goal 4, make it easy for library administrators to customize and maintain Aspen. Only you know how to serve your patrons best, so Aspen includes an extensive administration interface where librarians can select which e-content collections are included, how the facets are displayed, colors, fonts, and so much more. When implementing Aspen Discovery, we'll work with you to set up your system, give you training and support, providing the best solution for your patrons. Now let's take a quick demo. Here's an example site that we'll use to demo Aspen Discovery. Aspen can be completely customized to the look and feel of your library. You can bring in beautiful browse categories, which allow you to highlight curated collections, either by a search that's performed in your Discovery system or by bringing in a list. So on this first page, you can see our browse category. This is a search that shows all available ebooks. I can even take it a step further and look at subcategories, which will now show me available ebooks that are cookbooks. This is a great way for you to show your patrons what's available now and what they can check out. When they click on one of those links, it will give them a quick description of what's available. So in this case, I can see those grouped formats. I have both a book at the main branch and I have an ebook available through Cloud Library. The patron can begin the process of placing a hold or even checking that title out. These browse categories can be pulled in various ways. Over here, you can see we have a Steam book list. This was a list that one of our staff has curated and put together. So it's a great way for individuals to have these titles highlight on that front page. Now let's do a search for Harry Potter. You'll notice how we get that predictive text that populates for us once we begin typing. Titles, subject headings, it's giving us suggestions of what we should search for. I can just hit search, or I can change how I want to search. In this case, we're just going to leave it to Library Catalog and perform that search. This comes back and brings us our results. You can see over here on the left, we have facets. Facets allow us to drill down. So if we were looking for a particular format, we can come in here and select it. You'll notice across the top, we can also drill down by a particular format. So if I was just looking for the movies, I could select movies and that would limit to just those titles that were available. Now, whether you're a single branch or you're a consortium, this would allow the user to see that entire collection. So for single branch, they'd be able to see what's available on the shelf, meaning I can check it out now, or what's available online, ready to check out. If you're part of a consortium, they could see your entire consortium, or they can see your individual library. So lots of ways to customize it for your unique situation. Now, as I scroll down, I can see my results. So in this case, we can see the first book for Harry Potter. I can see that there's multiple formats. I can see that it's part of a series, and then I can see any editions that are available. It will also group together those multiple editions, making it really easy for the user to see everything that's available. I can see right now that this title is on hold for me because I am logged in. You can see up top as Sam Wise. I can even take this a step further and go in and view a little more information. This is going to show me what copies are available. I can see a short description, other titles in the series, other suggestions. And if your library subscribes to things like Novelist Select, you'll be able to see similar series, titles, and authors. Of course, you can customize also what the user sees here. If you want them to be able to browse by subject, you can pull in those subject headings. You can bring in reviews from Goodreads and even a staff view, which would allow your staff to come in and see additional information about the grouping and that traditional MARC record. Let's return back to our search results. Now let's do one more search. This time we're just going to do a basic search for gardening. This allows me to search the entire catalog and see what's available out there. You'll notice I get an advertisement up here that shows me I can start gardening with a partnership from the University of Florida. This is what we call placards, a great way for you to highlight events, subscriptions that you subscribe to, or something that you want your user to take advantage of. These will populate based on those search results. So just a great way to highlight things in your collection. Now, as we scroll down, I'll be able to see integration with e-content providers. So you can see here we have some e-magazines available. Well, it's almost Christmas, a couple months away, and maybe I want to check out some Christmas ideas from Better Homes and Gardens. Always have some great gardening ideas in there. You'll see here this gives me an option to preview it, or I can begin that checkout process right away. If I click that button, it gives me the option to check it out, and I can check that title out right from the system. I can then jump right into my account information. This is where I can see all of my account information, bringing in physical material that I have checked out, anything from Overdrive that I may have checked out, Cloud Library, Access 360, Hoopla, whatever your e-content provider is. Users can also manage their holds here, so they can see holds that are ready for pickup, and also anything that's pending or has not been triggered or trapped yet for them to come and receive. If your library keeps track of things and allows users to opt into reading history, they can see that information, manage their fines and fees, and then of course look at recommended titles for the user. Again, a great way for users to kind of curate titles in the collection that they may like. They can star things and get some recommendations back. Account settings will even allow them to view their digital library card, set up their preferences, and use linked accounts if you'd like, allowing them to add multiple family members, partners, or caretakers. Finally, Aspen has a list feature that of course would allow your users to create lists and add information to them, add titles, email them, print them, and even generate citations. So just a great way for users to be able to pull together titles that they may want to read. Now that we've seen a quick demo of what Aspen Discovery does, let's take a look at some of our partner sites. Here's Meadville Public Library. They're part of a larger consortium. This is their individual branded page that shows off their public library that they're also using Aspen Discovery for their website. Aspen Discovery includes features like Web Builder that allow you to customize and brand and bring in your own look and feel to build a website for your patrons. You can see here they're advertising direct links, which will take them directly out to those locations. So this takes me right into Beanstack. You can see here, we can also see things like Hoopla. And as I scroll down a little bit, we can see collection spotlights, which allow staff to embed beautiful lists or searches that show the patron a particular collection or topic or category. And as we scroll down to the bottom, you can find an easy way to get information about the library and even have a quick link to their calendar. Let's take a look at Carnegie Stout Public Library. This is a great example where we can talk just a little bit about the integrations that Aspen Discovery has. Let's do a basic search for Spanish books. You can see here that Aspen will start to give us that predictive text. And as I begin to do that search, I can come over and search the entire library catalog. You'll notice right away that it gives me this beautiful placard. Right in the front here, you see a little advertisement for Transparent Language Online. Learn a new language today. And it's a way for Carnegie Stout to show off that there's over 100 languages to choose from, and you can download these free language learning softwares to start today. This gives the patron quick access. You'll also notice now that I can also get a few of these titles that come back in those Spanish books. Let's take a look at McKinney Public Libraries. McKinney Public Libraries in Texas has just launched their Aspen Discovery site. And we'll do a search here to talk a little bit about how libraries can integrate all types of digitization and archives within the collection. So I'm going to do a search for hurricanes. And again, we'll get that predictive text, and I'm just going to perform that regular search. So when those results come back, you'll see I get an example for a book. And then as we scroll down, I'll get this Explore More section. And this is going to give me examples where I can see some of that archival integration. So in this first one, I can see a photograph of hurricane damage. If I click on that, that will open a new page where it links me directly out to the archival information for the Portal to Texas History, which is their statewide system. And again, here's another example where I can see some hurricane damage. So not only is the patron getting results for what's in that collection, they can also see archival information. Now, I can do this search the same way. Instead of just searching the library catalog, I can come over and just search history and archives. Now when I perform that search, I'll be able to see those results firsthand. You'll notice those facets over here allow me to drill down where I can see a little more information, and I can even see that right away. So now I can link to the Explore More for those additional resources that are available. Let's take a look at another one of our partner sites. This is Uinta County Library in Utah. We're going to show you how they use events to integrate into their system. We can begin by just doing a quick search. This time I'm going to do a search for quilters. You'll notice again, I get that predictive text. I'm going to come over and perform that search. When it comes back, you'll notice we get a list of results here. I can narrow down, of course, by the facets on the left-hand side or the type of format I want on top. And as I scroll through my results, I'll see those collected formats and keep scrolling down. And now we land on our Explore More section. So now I can see everything that's available. I can see events that are going on at the library, lists that have been curated by staff talking about quilting fiction. I can see archival information from their history, and even an individual from their genealogy. So let's take a first look at events. As I click on that, that opens and it takes me right out to Library Market. That's the event calendar that they're using with their library. So it's giving that patron seamless access in. If I click on that quilting fiction, this takes me right in where I can see some of the titles that are available from that curated list, where I can either print or email that list to myself. I can see the archival information. So as I click on that, it takes me out to that image of the quilters where I can see all that metadata directly from that link. Finally, I can see genealogy information. If I click on that link, that takes me in where I can see this individual. I can see that genealogy result with her obituary and then any information about that individual. So Aspen is bringing all that information in just that one search of quilters. Now, if we come back and perform that search in events, you'll notice that again, we're going to get those results where we can see just those events that are going on, but we still get that beautiful Explore More section so they can see all those results. And again, if we do that search in those genealogy records, I can perform that search again, and again, we get the results back. So just a great way to bring in all of that information in one spot. Now I'll pass it over to Cal to talk about why we developed the Aspen app.
So why did we create an app? This is some data from the 2021 Pew Research study about mobile access and different types of users. There's a variety of different age groups and access points to the internet. So we have people that still really like just cell phones versus tablets and computers. We know that 95% of adults in the US under the age of 49, they own a smartphone. And also something in the study was 3 out of 10 people, they consider themselves almost constantly online. So we really just wanted to increase access to the library and offer something for every type of user. And increased access is always a good thing. Even though Aspen is fully mobile responsive, so you can easily load Aspen Discovery on your phone browser like Google or Safari. Some people still prefer apps, and the demand for apps is still there. It's just a preference point, and we want to make sure that we offer something for every type of user. A big part of open source and Aspen Discovery is our community. Currently, we have over 500 libraries that have implemented Aspen Discovery, and we have several more that are in the process right now of going live. We have public libraries, school and community college libraries, consortiums, single branch libraries, and also special and research libraries. They have different needs and different users, and they all deserve a voice. So how do we hear their voices? We have Aspen gatherings once a month. They're just virtual meetings where people can share ideas, updates, developments, resources. Our next Aspen gathering is actually today at 4 p.m. Eastern if you're interested in attending. Everyone is welcome. These aren't just for those that already have Aspen. These meetings are one of our opportunities to gather feedback from the Aspen community. We talk integrations, enhancements, and developments. Because Aspen Discovery is open source, we are able to drive developments very quickly. We're currently on a 3-week release cycle, and these releases are based directly off of input from libraries and their users. It's one of the most amazing features of Aspen that sets it apart from other discovery layers. We also have other ways to gain feedback throughout the month besides these meetings. One of our big tools to communicate with our library partners and even internally on our Bywater team, we work a lot in Slack, a dedicated Aspen Discovery Workspace that we invite all of our library partners to join. This gives us an opportunity to have instant conversations with our libraries and to gain that feedback. So throughout the app development process, we created an app channel specifically to talk through wanted features, any sort of like bugs or troubleshooting as we're going through the beta testing. Also, there's opportunities not only throughout the implementation process when we're meeting with you regularly, but afterwards we have weekly, bi-weekly, monthly check-ins, whatever works best for your schedule. You also have access to the Aspen team's calendars so that you can book time directly with the developer, directly with the educators at any time. Let's talk a little bit more about the process of developing an app. To begin, libraries expressed an interest in having an app as a part of the Aspen Discovery user experience. It starts with conversations of, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be great if we used to have this? Or we used to have an app and it wasn't what we needed. We would love an app to be customizable. We would love an app to be user-friendly. We would love an app to directly have the same look and feel as our library catalog. So as these conversations started to unfold, we started to record all the different requests that our libraries had. We also started talking to our community members and seeing what they were using now. And one of our library community members, Christopher Zorn at Ajax Public Library in Canada, had already been working on coding a library app for his library. And after some conversations with him, he generously shared with us his base code. And from that, we were able to add a lot of these features and requests that we were hearing from our Aspen users. Once we started working off the base code, we entered a testing and feedback phase, which we talked about a little bit previously, where we were getting responses from our community members during Aspen gatherings in our Slack channel, on one-on-one conversations, in support tickets. So we allowed anyone in the community who was interested to download a test app and provide this feedback so that we could continually add enhancements for what they would like to see for their library users. So now we're in the public launch phase, and as the app appears now, and it's officially available in the iOS and Android stores. We are continually developing the functionality in the app and releasing bi-weekly right now. So let's meet Aspen LiDA. We named Aspen LiDA Aspen Library Discovery App, but also when we looked up the word LiDA, it means loved by the people. And that's truly something, if you saw it, our goals talked about at the beginning, we truly believe that Aspen Discovery is something for the people. It's driven by the people. It's driven by library staff and library users. And we want it to be something that is loved and that is easy to use and is user-friendly and that has gone back to time and time again to get access to all that libraries have to offer. So just a quick overview before we dive into a little demo of Aspen LiDA. For library staff, Aspen LiDA uses APIs that hook directly into Aspen. So this allows for a consistent experience that's incredibly easy to manage on the library level. So this means for staff that when you're doing your regular enhancements and lists through Aspen Discovery, that it is automatically upgraded on the app and you just need to do it one time in one place. For library users, Geolocation makes it easy to access your closest library location. It makes discovering new items effortless. It's visually engaging. You can easily check your account status. And a really nice thing, the wallet feature, where you can access your digital library card for an easy checkout experience. So let's meet Aspen LiDA and take a look.
Thanks, Cal. It's so important that our library patrons have access to discover all those amazing resources that our libraries have. And we live in a world where everything is at our fingertips, and we want the library catalog to be at our fingertips too. So you can see here on my screen, I have the Aspen Discovery app pulled up. So once I open that up, that is going to jump me right into the app where you can see the option to select your library. This also gives the user the interface where they can grab their library barcode or PIN or password, enter that in. You'll even notice underneath the login screen, we can hit that find libraries that are near us. So it'll actually geolocate the location that we're at and we can select it. If not, and you want to look, this will bring up a quick box where we can then come in and search for our library. So if we come right up to the top and I start typing in what my library's name is, it will auto-generate that list. So now I can come in, scroll through the results, and find exactly what I'm looking for. Now that I'm done, I can come in, I can enter in my library barcode, and then my PIN or password, and then log right into the app. Once I am logged into the app, it's going to take me into the Discover interface. This is where I can discover more. And so this shows you our browse categories. Now these can be customized by library staff for users to come in and look at a curated collection. So this first one, it looks like we're exploring some kids or new juvenile items, but I can actually come in here and start looking through some of those other curated categories. So let's say I wanted to look at some of those Overdrive magazines. I can select that, and now I can browse through and start looking for maybe some Halloween ideas where I could come in, I can select that, and then it takes me right into that particular magazine that may be ready. Let's say I wanted to look at available ebooks for cookbooks. This is going to bring us in, again, just a really great way where we can see everything that's available. I click on a title that I want to look at, and this will allow me to, again, either place a hold or check that item out. The next thing your user is going to experience is that search capability. And this is where we talk about the importance of the app. I think about times where I'm out at a friend's house and they're really excited about a new book that's come out, or, we enjoy reading the same. So the next thing we'll see here is that search capability. This is where the user can come in and begin that search process. And this is where we really talk about that great functionality for having an app, right? Everything's at our fingertips. We're out at a friend's house and they ask us if we've read this new book called It Ends With Us. And, we haven't heard at it. What's the first thing we do? We can come into our library's app and do a quick search and see if it's available. So when we perform that search, it will tell us right away, and we can see it pops right up to the top. It ends with us. I can see that it's a book in the fiction section. And if I click on that, this will then bring us down where we get a little bit of a intro about what this title is about. I can see that Colleen Hoover is the author, and I can even come in and start placing a hold for that item. So then I get my options where I can select the format. If there are multiple formats available, I can say I want that book, and then I can choose my location. So the main library is my home location, but maybe say it's closer for me to pick it up at that West branch on my way home from work. I can select that and then place that hold. You can see right away, I have placed that hold successfully and I'm number 1 in the queue. So again, this is just a great way in that search box where we can come in and perform a search, whether it's for an author or a title, it's in the book club and what's the next thing we're reading, or we're standing in the grocery line and we want to see, what magazines we want to read. We can see if it's in our app first. And there we go. So it's just a really nice way where I can see that I might have a magazine available at the branch, but I'm ready to read an e-magazine right away. I can just jump right in here and have access to that title. So I can come in, I can select the format that I would like to view, and then I can begin by either placing that hold or checking it out. Now, let's talk about these quick searches that you see underneath. This is an awesome way for staff, again, to create a way for you to push out quick searches for your patron. So if you know that something's really popular right now, or there's something in your community or your library that there's an event or something, or even a holiday, this is a nice way to quickly create that search. So let's say I'm interested in looking at some autobiographies. I can select that quick search, and that will bring back a list of results where now I can see some of those autobiographies that are available. And so maybe I want to do Andrew Carnegie. Again, that brings it in. I can see that title. I can begin the process of either checking it out or placing a hold. The next thing your user is going to see is their card. Now, this is where I have access to a digital library card right on my phone. So if I do go into the library to pick up a hold, or I go in, I browse the shelves, I grab some books, DVDs, and I'm ready to check those out, I can go right up to self-checkout, scan my phone, and there I have my digital library card. It's just an awesome way. How many times we walk in and we forget our library card? You can pull this digital library right up and easily be able to see that information. Now, let's talk about patron empowerment. You want your fingertips to have access to everything that you have checked out or on hold in the system. This is where the user now will see everything that they have checked out. So as I scroll through, you can see we have a few titles here that are checked out, 100 Great Hikes in San Francisco Bay Area, and I can see every one of those. So whether it's a magazine or a book that I have options to renew those titles if I have renewals available. And let's say I check something out, I can come in here and reload my checkouts, and that would show me everything that I have checked out in the system. I can also jump over to my on hold items. And again, this will show me everything that I have on hold in the system. So I can see anything where I'm in queue, or if it's ready to check out and pick up, I'd be able to see that as well. The last thing you'll see over here is your More tab. And this is where users can find ways to easily connect with your library. So it will show today's hours for the library that they are logged into. They can find the number or email or even visit the website right from this page. So this will link out to any of your branch information for that user. And then they'll also see an About section. From here, the user can also log out of the app. Now I'm going to pass it over to Mark to talk a little bit about that technical side of Aspen LiDA.
Thanks, Jesse. As Cal talked about earlier, Christopher Zorn created a library app for Ajax Public Library. Arlington Public Library, another Aspen partner, also built an app for their community. In both cases, they used the APIs from Aspen Discovery to power their apps. APIs are a way for two computers to talk to each other in standard predefined ways. We can think of it as an alternative to HTML and web forms. HTML is stored on a server and sent to your computer's browser. When the browser receives the HTML, it knows how to convert it into a page for display with text, graphics, and styling. When you submit a web form from your browser, that information is sent from your browser to the server, which processes the information you entered and stores it. APIs don't typically use HTML, but they do pass information back and forth between two servers, much like the way traditional web pages work. Aspen has APIs that allow an app to search the library's catalog to find titles that a patron is looking for, place holds for a patron, view what titles a patron has on hold and checked out, and much more. By utilizing the APIs within Aspen, we can leverage that functionality to make it easier to create the app and ensure consistency between Aspen Discovery and Aspen LiDA. As we started development of Aspen LiDA, we knew that we wanted a platform that was easy to maintain on a variety of devices and that had a robust community around it. Of course, we also needed the code to be open source as well so that it can be extended by our team, as well as developers at other libraries. The app that Ajax Public Library built met these needs and formed a strong foundation for Aspen LiDA. Because we had a strong foundation to build on, Kirsten Kroger, our lead developer for Aspen LiDA, was able to concentrate on functionality that was unique for supporting the needs of multiple libraries within a single app. We currently have approximately 900 libraries active within Aspen LiDA, and that number is growing continuously. Obviously, that is more libraries than can be easily browsed by a patron, so we needed to find a way for patrons to quickly find their library. We turn to geolocation to make it easy for patrons to find libraries within 60 miles of their current location to get a more limited view of libraries. Once the number of libraries has been limited, they can easily select their location from that list. Geolocation for libraries is automatically done based on addresses entered into Aspen Discovery. As patrons log into Aspen LiDA, we are able to use information about the library they have selected to personalize Aspen LiDA to them based on settings that the library configures within Aspen Discovery. By using Aspen Discovery as the central location where all customization is done, we are able to streamline the administration of both Aspen Discovery and Aspen LiDA to provide a consistent look and feel for patrons. In the future, we plan to offer rebranded instances of Aspen LiDA to library partners so that a patron could find an app specific to their library within the app stores. Another example of administration carrying over between Aspen LiDA and Aspen Discovery are the browse categories that allow patrons to easily discover materials that they might not otherwise know about. Many libraries use browse categories to highlight seasonal content, special collections, popular materials, and more. Within Aspen, any staff-curated list and any search can be turned into a browse category with just a couple of clicks. As new categories are created within Aspen, they will automatically appear within Aspen LiDA. If a library is part of a consortium, the categories are also unique to each library within the consortium, so each library can have its own branding and best serve its patrons. Similarly, searching within Aspen LiDA is specific to the patron's home library, so that materials they have access to are displayed. Because Aspen LiDA uses the Aspen APIs, we maintain the speed of searching, have highly relevant results, and we're able to show all formats that a title is available in. Because Aspen LiDA and Aspen Discovery are both open source, we're able to iterate quickly with our patrons as they contribute code to help advance Aspen LiDA for both their patrons and library patrons worldwide. In fact, just this morning, we received updated code from Christopher that implements several new features. These features will all be added to the next release of Aspen LiDA. And now here's Cal to talk about the future of Aspen LiDA.
Thanks, Mark. So what's coming next for Aspen LiDA? We wanted to share with you some of the wonderful things that we are working on, again, brought directly from our community and their amazing ideas and their amazing patrons and their amazing staff. One of the things that libraries would like to see is the ability to add library events right to your phone calendar. You have an every Tuesday story time or maybe a special author event that a user would like to attend. They could be in the app, they could see the promotional banner, we call them placards, for the event, and they could go ahead and just save it to their calendar. So I personally live inside my Google Calendar. It would be awesome if I could just put it into my Google Calendar so that I could get a reminder. This is a great marketing and promotional tool that could be built right into the library app. Push notifications is something else that libraries have expressed that they would love to see. Libraries already send out a lot of different notifications, usually via email, or some still send recorded phone calls. This could be for things like holds are available, overdue notices, renewal. We would like to give the ability to users and libraries to have push notifications directly in the app that users can opt in or opt out of, so that you could get a little alert on your phone when your hold is in, or maybe you're driving around and you're out running errands and you get a notification on your phone that says, hey, your library hold is in, and then you can just grab it on the way home. That would be amazing. Similarly, if you have an item that's coming overdue, just get a little notification. Again, with any other feature in Aspen Discovery, we want to be able to give the power to the patron, the power to the user, so that they can opt in or out of these notifications. Another great feature that we're working on is the ability to scan an item's barcode with your camera to get more information about that item. So I think of this, again, I'm at Target, I see a bestseller, and I don't want to spend $30 on it. I know that my library probably has a copy of it. So while I'm thinking about it, it's fresh to mind. I whip out my camera, I whip out the Aspen LiDA app, I scan the barcode, and I see the library closest to me has it. I get on that wait list for it. Easy as that. Similarly, we want to use the camera function and the scanning function already built into your phone to make the self-checkout process easier for a library user. So maybe there's a long line, even if you do have self-checkouts already. I'm in the library, I'm trying to get out of here. Just go ahead and scan the barcode on the item, whether it be a DVD, whether it be an audiobook, a regular physical item, and I can check it out right from my Aspen LiDA app and get out the door. These are just a few of the features that we're working on right now. Another one that we get asked about a lot is libraries, especially some of the bigger library systems, that they would like to have an individually branded app. So right now, how it's working is all libraries that are already a part of the Aspen Discovery community are getting to the app free. They're just added to the version of the community app, but there is some expressed interest, of course, in an individually branded app, and we would like to be able to offer that in the future as an enhancement to your Aspen Discovery package. All right, so by now, I'm sure that you would love to download the app. It is available in the iOS and the Google Play Store. If you scan this QR code with your phone, this will prompt an email box to open up. You can email Bill and we will get you a test login user so that you can play around with the different features and see the functionality on your own. You can also just directly email Bill at bill@bywatersolutions.com, and let's take some questions.
Great. Okay. Oh, thank you all. So now, yes, let us move into the Q&A session. We do have questions lined up here, but if you still have a question, feel free to put it into the question box and click submit. So let me start with this one. Do I make administration updates in LiDA or in Aspen Discovery?
Oh, thanks, Mary G. This is Jessie, and I'll answer that one. Updates and any changes that you would like to make for the LiDA app are made in Aspen Discovery. So you'll log in as an administrator with those permissions, make those changes, and those will be sent to the app.
Okay, that sounds simple enough. Let's talk about, you talked about geolocation. So here's a question. How is the location of the library determined, and will I stay logged in?
Yeah, we turned on geolocation to make it easy for patrons to find libraries within 60 miles of their current location to really get a more limited view of libraries. That way they don't have to search through a long list. And geolocation for libraries is automatically done based on addresses that are entered into Aspen Discovery. If they log out, they'll be prompted to log back in.
Okay. So is that only libraries with LiDA and Aspen Discovery, or is that any library within that 60-mile radius?
It'll be libraries that are utilizing Aspen Discovery.
Within the radius, okay, yeah. Very good. All right, here's another one. You talked about pickup locations. The question is, can I pick my pickup location? I think I would have said, can I choose my pickup location? But you get the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. So if a patron is part of a multi-branch system or a consortium where they can choose a library location that they can pick up for, always a great example, you're, out visiting a friend and a library is a little bit closer, you're coming home from work, you can absolutely select the pickup location for that hold.
Mm-hmm. Something that actually would not apply to me since my local public library has only one location. We don't have any branches. That's what happens in small towns. But very useful otherwise. So let's see here. Will the look of the app be different for different branches of the library system or consortia?
Yeah, it can be, absolutely. You can set up a customized browse categories and suggested searches for each library in your consortium or system in Aspen Discovery if you wanted. This would create a varied user experience per branch. And so this is a really great way for your library or specific branch if you want to promote a special collection, that's only available at your library.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was really impressed in your demo the quilting one where they even pulled an obituary. That was very impressive.
Yeah, where she was a quilter.
You don't normally think of that as part of a library collection. So I thought it really expanded the whole idea of what a library is.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Okay, here we have someone who says we do not use a PIN or password, just the barcode. And is it possible to have that field turned off? And maybe you want to generalize that out to generally how customizable can the product be?
Yeah, that's a really great question. So in the general sense, we can pretty much match configuration for their library. So depending on what configurations they have up, that's one of the strong things that we do at Bywater Solutions and the Aspen team when we're working with you on that implementation. Or of course, if you go out and download Aspen Discovery yourself, you'll notice that there's an entire administration section where you'll be connecting to your ILS, where you can make those customizations and match those configurations for the library.
Mm-hmm. So very customizable.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What are the sources for predictive search?
Sure, that's a great question.
Here.
Yep. So sources of predictive text searches are based on titles, authors, and subjects for their collection. For the searches in the app, those will be customized by library.
Mm-hmm. So just as you said somewhere in the demo where you said something about things being specific to the home library, so that also applies to your predictive search.
That's right.
Okay. It sounds like you need to have Aspen Discovery before you can get LiDA?
Yes, that's correct. So LiDA is a product of Aspen Discovery. So once you have implemented or set up your Aspen Discovery, then you will be able to set up the app, and your patrons will be able to go to the App Store, download the app, and then select their library from the list.
Mm-hmm. And we have another question here. If I understood correctly, the app is available right now. Can you confirm that?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. The app is available right now. So if you do not currently use Aspen Discovery and you would like to download and test the app, we actually have a little test library set up. So that QR code that was on the screen earlier, that would send an email automatically to Bill, or you can just email Bill at bywatersolutions.com, and he'd be happy to set up a username and password. That way you can go in there and play around and kind of just see how the app works. And it's a great little, just like a little test environment so you can see things.
Playing around in the playground. Very good. Yeah. Would it help for even non-subscribers to be able to access gatherings? I think you said they could.
Yeah, we encourage people to come to these Aspen gatherings that we have, and we actually have one this afternoon, right after our presentation today. Yes, and it's just a great place where we have staff that come in, frontline staff, administrators. We have developers that come to the meeting. We have marketing people, and everybody just shares ideas. And it's a great way for them to find out, how are they utilizing placards at their library, or, what special browse categories have they set up, for any type of events that are going on. And they talk about things that are coming up in the next releases. We just mentioned this yesterday as we were talking to a library. A lot of times when our patrons are searching and they're looking for titles in the collection, and it's part of an e-content collection, they go to Overdrive. Let's use Overdrive as an example. And, you can either read it online with Overdrive Read or open it up in Libby, but sometimes you have access to a Kindle or an EPUB option. And some of the feedback that we got from our librarians in the community was that they would like to see Kindle broken out to make it just easier for those patrons that do have a Kindle to know right away, you know what, let me just filter by Kindle so I can find exactly what I'm looking for. So those are the kind of things that our community listens to. You know, we want to hear what your patrons are asking about, what they want to see, and then we make that reality in the community.
So remind our audience how would they get to gatherings?
Yeah, absolutely. If you come to our website, it's aspen.bywatersolutions.com. On that main page, you'll see a box if you scroll down a little bit to the community, and there'll be a nice little button for Aspen Gatherings, and then you'll see the one for today, which will be October 14th, and that'll have a link that you can go right into the Zoom and start chatting with some of our librarians.
Excellent. Excellent. Talk about timeliness. Well, okay, here's another question for you. Is there holdings information for print books in the app?
Yes. So when they are looking at the format, they'll be able to see that information in there, and then they'll be able to see the number of holdings they have for those titles.
And what other languages other than English are available in the LiDA app?
So right now, LiDA is currently just English. Aspen is available in multiple languages, and new languages can really be added easily. We'll probably expand to other languages in the future, but for the first release, it was English.
Okay. But of course, if your library has holdings that are in another language, those will surface.
Yes, absolutely.
So the only thing
going back,
the only thing that's only in English is the user interface itself. But
right, that's correct. The user interface itself is in English. And if you go to one of the sites that we were showing today, you'll see a lot of them have either one or two, or some have 3 or 4 languages available for their patrons, where they can jump between English or Spanish, and that's easy for them to make that differentiate.
Makes sense. I mean, you can't do everything all at once.
Yeah. Well, and to expand upon the question about the holdings, you can also see call numbers and shelf locations. So, you can see quite a bit of information in there.
Okay. All right. Okay. You talked about Slack. Is that part of gatherings, or is that a separate item?
Oh, yeah. So Slack is a virtual chat option, and there's a workspace that we have for the Aspen Discovery community. So whether you're a current Aspen Discovery user, or you're interested in learning more about Aspen Discovery, you can join the Slack workspace. Again, you can just shoot Bill an email, and he can send you that direct link to that, and he'll be able to get you set up and set in.
I think it's fascinating that you open up so much to both customers and non-customers. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, Aspen is an open source solution, so we want as many people to be familiar with it, and we want people to be able to share ideas, and that's the whole point of community. We want people to be able to come in and say, here's how we do this in our library, and every library is unique, so it may be different from the 20 other libraries that are using it, and that's what's so important to us. We want to make sure that all of those resources that our libraries have are discoverable for their patrons, and that's the number one goal of Aspen Discovery.
Hey, that's a very good point, that frequently if you walk into a library, it looks just like a generic library, but if you just look a little closer, no, they're different.
Right.
So fascinating. Well, that is all the time we have for questions today. And we apologize that we were unable to get to all of your questions, but as I stated earlier, all questions will be answered via email. And I would like to thank our speakers today, Mark Noble, Aspen Discovery Team Lead, Jessica Zaro, Director of Library Sales and Outreach, Bywater Solutions, Colleen Marquise, Partner Engagement Specialist, Bywater Solutions, Bill Kessler, Aspen Discovery Sales Consultant Bywater Solutions. If you would like to review this event or send it to a colleague, please use the same URL that you used for today's event. It will be archived for 90 days. Plus, you will receive an email with the URL to view the webinar once the archive is posted. And just for participating in today's event, you could win this $100 Amazon card. The winner will be announced on October 29th. We will reach out via email if you are selected as this month's winner. Thanks again for joining us.